بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين وعلى الصفوة من صحابته المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان وإيمان إلى يوم الدين. قال تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ويزيد الله الذين اهتدوا هدى والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير مردا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. All grace due to Allah. All thanks due to Him, the cherisher, the sustainer, the provider of the whole universe. God who endowed on us wisdom, intelligence, and knowledge. And He prepared us to learn more and increase our knowledge. And based on our knowledge, we can find the right way in this life. We can distinguish what is good and what is bad. All thanks to God. All praise to Him. And may His blessing and peace be upon all the messengers and the prophets and the apostles that He sent to the humanity to enlighten us, to guide us to the right path. If we were to listen to two twins speaking to each other in their mother's womb, we might possibly hear them saying that, is there any life after this place? Is there any existence? Are we going to exist when we leave this womb here? What is next? They wonder about their future. Likewise, if we listen to two adults today chatting with each other, most likely we would hear them saying, is there life after death? At the end of this long journey, where do we go? What is our fate? This is the prime question that always obsessed man through the early days of the history of mankind. Always man was concerned with this question, with an answer to this question. Is there life after death? And this question exists in all societies, with all people. Even secular people, even people who do not believe in religion, they always ask, where do we go after this life? People who travel around the world, at the end of their journey, they come back home. They have to go home. Every journey, every trip, every vacation, every holiday has to come to a conclusion, has to come to an end. So people wonder that this journey that we have in this life, which lasts sometimes 50 years, sometimes 60 years, sometimes 8 years, where does it end? What are we going to face? What sort of things are we going to confront after death? Is death the end of the journey or not? There is another journey. There is life after death. There is hereafter. This debate has occupied the minds of millions of people throughout the history of mankind. We know in this life, if you want to travel somewhere, the travel agent provides you with something called itinerary. It tells you about the details of your trip, the time of departure, the time of arrival, the type of hotel you're going to go to, sometimes the details of the day, the events, the functions that you're going to experience them and enjoy them. Where do we get the details and the itinerary of this journey after death? Where are the details? Where is the itinerary? What travel agent can provide us with this or with this information? In fact, only religion and faith can provide you with some information, not detailed, but some, a glimpse of what is going to happen after death. Because even religion would not provide us with much information, with everything we want to know. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. O Prophet Muhammad, they come to you asking you concerning the spirit, the human spirit, the soul, the human soul, the destination of this human soul, where this soul is going to head, what will happen to it. Say to them, قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. This type of knowledge belongs to God, and sometimes God bestows some information on those that He likes. وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. When it comes to the spiritual realm, to the spiritual world, we only know little about it. And thus philosophers were puzzled about our final destination, about life after death. But religion can provide you with some answer. A friend asked me one time that, what is the benefit of being religious? What is the difference of someone who's religious and someone who's irreligious? Someone who believes in God and someone who does not believe in God. Where does it appear? How do you find the difference? Is it in their lifestyle and the type of food that they eat and the type of housing and resident and place and the shelter that they have? Where is it? Where is it visible? Where you can tell this is religious and this is irreligious? And what is the benefit of having faith? Where does it appear? I told him in a brief that religion and faith provides you with type of answers that you would not find them elsewhere. We human beings, we are overwhelmed and consumed with programs and activities throughout our day and night. We are always busy. And we seldom find the time or the person, the source, to give us spiritual answers about our life, about our destination. Religion comes and provides you with answers that you do not hear them in the marketplace. You do not hear about them in the family gatherings. You don't hear about them in the sport arenas. You don't hear about them in social gatherings. And this is the role of the religion here. It's very visible here. It gives you answers that you would not find them elsewhere in the newspaper and the media. This is why religion is important. Religion is present when others are incapable to be present, when others are absent and would not be able to give you an answer. And this is why religion is important. Religion provides you with an answer about the destination we are heading. And if you open the Holy Quran, I'm not only speaking here about the Holy Quran, even if you open the previous divine scriptures, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and others, you will find answers that we always yearn to understand them, to know them, to recognize them. And every human being, when they reach middle age, let's say the age of 40, they start wondering for spiritual answers, philosophical answers for their existence. You know, when we were kids and teenagers and young people, usually we would be fascinated by sort of things that, if we look at them now, we would find them, they were very silly. They were very meaningless. Young people are concerned always and obsessed with type of foods, drinks, sometimes alcohol, sometimes smoking, sometimes fancy sport cars, you know, fancy dress, fancy hairstyle. They search for them. Nowadays, if you look around you, if you walk in the street and look around you, you would find almost every individual, male or female, are using the cell phone, speaking on their mobile phones. Sometimes you find two friends walking together and they are supposed to speak to each other, but they don't. Each one is holding his cell phone and speaking to someone else. This is the modern obsession today. So people were obsessed with some fancy things. But once they pass the age of 40, things will change. Man's perspective will change. Man's understanding will change. Man's, admiration for things will change. Because we are growing now. We would not be concerned only with our physical existence. We would realize that man's value is much more and beyond his or her physical existence, his or her flesh and bones. There is something more valuable. When we were young, we thought that this is my body, and I'm obsessed with my body. I'm obsessed with my physical appearance. I try to modify it. I try to articulate it. I'll try to make it very attractive to get some attention. This is why you find, some people, they spend lots of money buying creams and, and gels and others and shampoos and whatever to make themselves look much more attractive and beautiful. This was our obsession with the physical side. But when you get to a certain age, let's say the age of 40, or you pass the age of 40, then you start looking at your past obsessions. And you would realize that these were just toys. Have you seen the toys when we give kids toys? We give them toys to pacify them. Sometimes, if you see a child, a toddler, an infant, 1 year old, 2, 3, 5 years old, they are crying, they are bored. If you bring them $10,000 and tell them, take this, they would not take it. They would not take it. But give them a pacifier, which could be, bought for $2, sometimes $1. Give it to them. They would like it. They would grab it. They will enjoy it. And then you wonder, well, I've given him or her $10,000. They didn't enjoy it. Now, you give them something which values only $1, and they think this is a big treasure. They grab it. They get so much excited and happy. Look at ourselves now. This is man's nature. When we get obsessed with our physical side, it's like the baby that is, obsessed with a piece of toy, which only worth $1 or $2. But the Holy Quran, but faith and religion, invites us to look beyond our physical existence. This is why God, when He calls upon us, He says, Ya ayyuhal insan. We have two expressions in the Holy Quran. One is bashar. Bashar referring to the physical side, physical dimension of us. But the other one is much more deeper and valuable. Insan. يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. In another verse, Allah speaks to us, وَكُلَّ إِنسَانٍ أَلْزَمْنَاهُ طَائِرَهُ فِي عُنُقِهِ. His deed is going to circle his neck, to be put around his neck, meaning that it is inseparable from you. You carry your deed with you. It would not go beyond you or behind you, neither in front of you. You would carry your deed, your achievements with you. Whatever they are, whether they are good achievements or horrible achievements, you are going to carry them. وَكُلَّ إِنسَانٍ أَلْزَمْنَاهُ طَائِرَهُ فِي عُنُقِهِ وَنُخْرِجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كِتَابًا يَلْقَاهُ مَنْشُورًا اقْرَأْ كِتَابَكَ. On that day, he will find his record wide open before him. And then he will be told, read, reflect, and see your record for yourself. You don't need an interpreter. Even people who died illiterate, unable to read or write, on that day when they see their record, they would be able to understand it. They would be able to read it. اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. من اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا. Powerful statements in the Holy Quran in chapter 17, Surah Al-Isra, or Bani Israel. So when God addresses us, He says, Ya ayyuhal insan. He wants to tell you and me and everybody else that I have created a human soul in you. You carry a soul. And with this soul comes a mission. You have a mission on this earth. Don't waste your time. Don't devalue yourself. Don't degrade yourself. You have to realize your mission. The best person, according to Imam Ali alayhi salam, the one عرف قدر نفسه, the one who values himself, herself. You know, when we want to buy a new house, this is a tradition in every country. You bring someone, an expert, a real estate agent, to assess the house, to evaluate the house, to give you the price of the house, to tell you how much this house is worth. When you buy a car, it's the same. When you buy any product, today when you go shopping, you look at the product. You don't go and buy it from the first store. You compare the prices. But when it comes to us, unfortunately, we are neglectful of our own price, of our own value. Ya ayyuhal insan. God wants to tell us that you are insan, you are mankind, you are a human, and thus you have a mission on this earth. I want you now, tonight, to grab a pen and paper and then put some words down on them. Ask yourself this question. What is the legacy I am going to leave behind myself? Should I die one day? And everybody is heading for this destination, death. What is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? What is the legacy? Ask yourself. What is the positive contribution I can provide to the humanity, to my family, to my country, to my society, to my community? What are they? Can you write few points there? Can you say that I have done this, I have achieved this? This is the knowledge, this is the wisdom, this is the perpetual charities. وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتِ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ مَرَدًّا. In the eyes of your Lord, they are much more rewarding, and lasting. I would leave you with this. I would leave you with this piece of thinking tonight. Think to yourself, what is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? May Allah bless you all, and thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.